Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a little bit of a different kind of video. We are doing a shell build challenge. This is the Hella challenge set by Plumbella. She is a Sims YouTuber who I absolutely adore. Her channel brings me so much happiness. I will link her channel below. Hopefully you guys may already know about her or you want to check her out. Either way, I will link it below. So for those of you who don't know what a shell build challenge is, shell build basically means where another person builds a building with lots of odd shapes, weird shapes, tried to make it difficult for you to create something from it. Obviously there's limitations within the game, there's lots of different limitations that the game creates that you cannot actually overcome. So sometimes the weird shapes can be weird. The only thing that you can't do is you can't change or add any more walls. You can only add exterior things and things. Now you may see me here like I'm just doing here. I'm adding a wall. This is just to provide a ceiling above. You have to do it this way or it won't work. I delete the wall straight after and obviously it comes back to a normal thing. So that is allowed. That's in the rules, just because otherwise there's no other way to get a ceiling up there. But anyway, this shell that she gave us is kind of a difficult shell to work with. Lots of diagonal walls, lots of different kind of weird shapes and things. So I wasn't really sure in what direction I wanted to take it. Also, the roofing on this was quite a challenge. So the way that I've done this now, this is just the outside. So it's only the exterior and the landscaping that I've done. I'm going to be doing a second video where I will also be doing the interior of this build as well. So you can probably already tell I decided to go down the route of quite modern, and what I wanted to do was create a modern space. Obviously with the kind of geometric design and shaping and things, it kind of almost seemed that a natural, I guess you could say a natural fruition into this kind of shaping. Wait till you see what I do with it later. I chose these windows and I really wanted to go with the kind of blue color, as I felt that it added a little bit more style to the build. But here I'm just kind of figuring out the internal rooms and what I'm going to be doing. It was lots of fun to do this, and I've never actually done a shell build challenge before. For those of you who don't play Sims, there is a gallery on there and you basically upload and you can also download things from the gallery. So this is how we actually find the blueprint of this. I decided that I wanted to do sliding doors here as well. The sliding doors eventually will actually lead out onto a infinity pool. The infinity pool was a really cool idea that I was thinking that just came to me out of nowhere. I was also thinking about how can I make this build stand out? How can I make it not look boring? So you'll see what I did a little bit later on as well, and it will give you an idea as to how I think I've made it stand out. Obviously you can give me your own opinions, but I think this is how I've made it stand out. You can see me here, I'm kind of fiddling around with it, trying to figure out what I want to do with it and things. So I'm adding a balcony on the back there. Has anybody else been using these stair techniques a lot since they actually updated the game with that? Now, one thing I will say is I did have to use the cheat for move objects, and if anybody knows me and knows how I like to play Sims, you will know that I am a oh my gosh, sorry guys, something just fell over in my room. Everybody knows that I'm obsessed with custom content, so CC, which is something that the community creates and it provides extra content for your game. So for me, it was really difficult to actually not use any custom content in this build. The reason why you can't use custom content is because obviously if that person that downloads this, so if Plumbella downloads it and she doesn't have my custom content, it will just disappear from the game and she won't be able to see it. Now what I decided to do here was I decided to raise the house and give it kind of a moat situation. I was kind of going for kind of a tropical, I guess you could say sort of a fairy tale theme or vibe. I don't know. I started doing this and I thought it looked really cool, so I just kind of stuck with it and just continued on with it really. I thought these tiles would be quite nice, not too much, not too in your face. and I thought they kind of blended quite well with the pavement that's there as well. Sometimes you can really struggle to match and blend the pavements together. You can really feel as though there's a disjoint between the lot that you're building on and the actual world that's around you that you can't edit. So if anyone who's new to this, where the green line is, that is exactly where your creation stops. And also with this white square that's around the outside, you cannot design beyond that space. So all those flowers and plants and things that you're seeing in the background, you actually can't touch them. They're permanently there. Now with this doorway here, I actually take away this rock and expand it out a little bit later on, which I think is quite cool. These rocks, sizing them up and down and editing them, this took me forever. I would say, I mean, it took me I was building for about 2 hours straight. So I built for 2 hours straight, and I would say that doing these rocks was at least 45 minutes of me playing the game, was just doing these rocks. So I mean, it was, I don't want to say it was kind of a bitch to do. Here we go, this is me building the infinity pool here. I wanted to give this water a slightly different effect to the pool on the back, although the ones at the front, they are swimming pools. So you can see here I added these rose petals here as well in the water. I thought it was very tropical vibes. And this water looks it looks bright and blue, but very sort of choppy and rough, which is the effect that I wanted. When you're in live mode, the water just moves and has animation to it as well, which is quite cool. The pools that are on the front, so although it's a moat, it is technically classed as a swimming pool. Whether the sim can actually jump in if there's rocks around the edge, I don't actually know. I need to check that out, because I wonder if you actually can jump in with the rocks. Either way, if they wanted to swim in this water, they totally could. It's not impossible for them to do this. I wanted to add some rocks under the water. I didn't fully get to finish adding rocks underwater. I'm going to add more, but after doing this for like 2 hours, I just needed a break and I needed to stop for a bit. But you can see there's already some under there as well. So this is me just adding more rocks. During this whole time and this whole process, I was thinking about how, oh yeah, I wanted to try and add some windows in there, but they just wouldn't fit. At the time, I thought this idea would be really cool, but I was happy after that I didn't actually put windows there, because what I ended up doing was even better. So again, I'm just building the wall to make the ground there, and then I'm going to delete it. It actually was really difficult to create this extended, I guess you could call it, porch area. Don't worry, everything was put back to the original shell as it should. Sometimes it's just the process of building. That is just how it is. It's just the process of building, I suppose. Again, not breaking any of the rules, and I'm just adding more rocks, trying to hide the opening. Is anybody else doing this challenge? Let me know if you're actually doing the challenge as well, because I always love to see how different people would represent. Is that the right word? I love to see how other people would interpret, this is what I meant to say, how other people would interpret the way that I have done this into their own game. Because everybody takes a shell and creates something completely different. If you search the gallery, it's crazy that how much you can see about how people use different shells and create completely different vibes, completely different designs. Here, what I wanted to create was a kind of a porch area. So I actually do add table and chairs out here, because I was looking inside the house and I was thinking there's definitely not enough space. There's definitely not enough space for like a dining room table and things. And I was thinking, we're in which neighborhood am I in? Oh my gosh, call me a Sims YouTuber and I don't even know what the name of the world that I'm in. It's the really sandy one. I forgot what it's called. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? It'll come to me. Anyway, I'm in the really kind of deserty one. So I thought, it's warm here. People will eat outside. You know, it's kind of alfresco style. I thought it'd be quite cool. I added these plants on the outside as well, thinking it was quite cute. So yeah, you can see now that it's starting to actually take a bit of shape. The build is starting to look more like a house, more like a home, I suppose. My favourite bit of this build so far is definitely the garden. I feel that I created something really, really special in the garden. So when we start to build on that, you will start to see what I created. I was thinking it's kind of a modern Mediterranean style home, I guess. Here I was going to add some fairy lights, and then I realised it just wasn't working, and I decided to scrap the idea, and I think I went for some more modern lights. I'm not quite sure. I think we'll find out. Yeah, I think I went for some more modern outdoor lights. Yes, here we go. As I felt that these just were more in keeping with the build and actually look better. Here we go. You can see it in proper daylight now. It looks great. I love it. I was very proud of myself for what I created so far, and hopefully Jessie will pick it and actually have a look at it. You know, who knows? I think I like Jessie because, sorry, having a drink. I think I like Jessie because I like that she's also a UK YouTuber, and I don't know, I just feel maybe the humour, I can relate more to her as well, or I don't know. I mean, I love everybody who creates content and everybody around me, but sometimes she just says something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally get what you're saying, or I totally understand what she's saying. Maybe it's just the slang that I get, but I'm sure that's the same with anyone who lives anywhere. There's always a particular, what's the word, style of speaking or slang or something. I was trying to pick colours for the house, and this was actually really hard. I actually ended up settling on this kind of beige colour, and I added black accents to it, as I was feeling that it was more of a modern aesthetic then, and it added more of a contemporary feel to the build. So I just used a few parts of the build and added the kind of black bricks onto there. Now what I was thinking in this kind of triangle bit, I was thinking about adding an open, as in an open plan bathroom area, or like bathroom, maybe with like a nice bath or something that's just nice. I still don't have any idea what I'm going to do with the interior, so I actually might tonight jump back on Sims and spend a couple of hours in build mode. In here as well, I just thought I'm just going to figure out the internal layout a little bit, just so I have a little bit more of an idea about where I'm going, and if I needed to add things into the garden, what I would need to add. So as you can see here, I'm just separating things, creating a hallway and that. And I think I add the stairs as well. I'm not 100%. Yes, I do. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of create that two-step or double landing, did they call it, staircase? So I ended up doing it in this way. And I think that looks quite nice. I think it goes within the build and that. Save your game, girls and guys and everybody else in between. Don't forget to save your game. Otherwise, you will end up losing everything and you'll be in trouble. Like, I don't think I'd even saved up until that point. Just adding a few more windows so we can start to get the final structure of the build going in. This is just some nice big doors. Yeah, put them there. This house is not going to have a lot of bedrooms in it. I'm thinking to maybe just one bedroom, possibly two if I can squeeze it in. It depends how smart I'm going to be with my building on the inside. I did add, oh yeah, okay, I totally forgot that I did this. I did add some stairs up to the roof as well. Now I can remember the actual roofing for this lot was quite difficult. Did I leave the stairs there? Oh no, I was going to say they're going to be blocked, but they're not. There's a way to get around. Now on the roof, I had to think quite long and hard about what I actually wanted to do. Wow, talking non-stop for this long kind of dries your throat out a bit. So what I think I originally decided to do was I thought I'm going to add a balcony on top, and then I'm going to do a few sections of roofing, and I'm going to add some skylights in. So you'll see in a sec how I add some skylights. And I can't remember, do I do it? I think I did it in line with the windows so that it matches with the windows. Trying to pick a roof tile was quite difficult. Sorry about the jittering of the angle. Trying to find a roof tile was quite hard as well. I think I just went with a basic black roof tile. I can't quite remember. I think we'll find out. There we go. Yeah, I just went with that basic black roof tile, and I did the same on the other side and just essentially copied the same roofing style, as I found this was the best way to physically be able to roof this lot. So I did, yeah, 3 in the middle, I think. Yeah, just 3 in the middle. I mean, it's not like there isn't enough light in this build. There are windows everywhere, but I just thought it was quite nice to add a little bit of light from the top, and it also adds a bit more of a modern twist to the build and does give it a little bit more of a kind of fabulous look from the outside. So again, I'm adding some more rocks from underneath. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. I'm trying to hide the pool edges and not make it look as though it's a swimming pool. I wanted to make this rock pool look as natural as possible and almost make it appear as though the building had been built into the rock. So again, I go back, like I said earlier, I didn't really have enough time to add all the rocks under the water, and that's not because I ran out of time, it's just because I was tired. So I will go back and finish that off at a later date, maybe when I do the interior, like I was saying. What do you guys think to the rock colour? Do you think it's nice? Give me your opinions in the comments below. Tell me your honest opinion. Do you like the way the build looks? Do you think it looks a little bit what would you have done differently? How would you have built differently if you were building this shell build? Now I think I'm just doing all the rocks now. I think I just decided that I wanted to finish off the formation, and then I wanted to start work on the garden. So just put loads of rocks together. Using the resize tool really is an amazing tool to use in The Sims, especially if you're playing, well, I don't remember, can you use it in Sims 2 or 3? I don't really remember, but yeah. In The Sims 4, it's my favourite thing. With the bb.moveObjects cheat on, you can create anything. And honestly, the world is your limit. The world is your limit. That's not, what do they say? There is no limit. Whatever people say. I can't remember what people say, but essentially you can create anything you wish. Now remember here I was trying to add the stairs, and this was actually a pain in the ass because I had to move all the rocks, I had to move the water. We got there, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is annoying. But as you can see, we got there in the end. Now for the garden, I definitely wanted to go for a more, I want to say, Mediterranean feel. And again, I wanted the garden to be in keeping with the front of the house and definitely feel more like a continuation of one vibe rather than a different vibe. Because I love these almost like rose hedge bushes, like you just saw me placing, but they wouldn't really go with the lot, and there's palm trees everywhere. It doesn't really go. So I added some palm trees and that, sized them up and down and stuff. But I definitely wanted a partition and a barrier. So I definitely wanted something that was going to close the garden off so people could just walk in. If you play Sims, then you obviously know people can just wander into your house and into your garden at any time if you don't lock the doors or have a partition in your garden that stops people from coming in, whether it's a wall or anything. So what I actually decided to do was, you can see the rocks around the palm trees in the part of the lot that I can't control. I actually just thought, let's just make a rock partition. It keeps with the naturalness of the build, and it just keeps it in keeping with the surrounding area, and I just love it. I thought it was such a cool idea. So I built a whole rock partition barrier all around the edges. I also wanted to make this garden sort of a functional garden. So not just something that was pretty to walk around, but something where you could do things, create things. So I do incorporate a few of those things as well. So now just changing the colour. Yeah, look, I think it looks so good, especially with the background of all the rocks. It just goes so well. I love it. Yeah. You know, when I'm watching this back, I'm actually quite proud of what I created, which I know you might think sounds a bit narcissistic or whatever, but I'm really proud. Now these orange bushes I decided to add along the pool area, and this is what I was saying earlier about I actually prefer these bushes to if I put windows in. Although the windows would have been cute and you could see people swimming in there, it just wasn't working and they just didn't want to go in. So these bushes are much nicer. Now what I originally laid down, I completely changed. So everything that you see me doing here is going to be completely different in about 2 or 3 minutes. Got to have a patchy in the garden. You know, patchy's helpful. These gold planters I've never seen before. Maybe because I think, do you get it from completing the gardening career, or do you get it from level 10 gardening? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. This wedding arch, how cute. I know it's meant to be for weddings and things, but I just thought it was lovely and it had to go in the garden, and it just had to go in there. Nice little bird feeder in there. Hot tub for the rooftop terrace, of course. What does everybody think to that Sims Celebration hot tub? I want to like it, but every time I just I just can't seem to get on with it. I just don't get it. These swings, super cute. I love them so much. Again, I was still fiddling around with plants and things, trying to figure out what I thought would look cute. These red flower bush things, these were a savior. When I found these, this honestly took the build to the next level. You will see how I just place them everywhere in the garden, and it just adds a really nice soft floral vibe to everything, and I just really like it. I think it definitely adds to the Mediterranean feel of the build. And you can see I'm just placing them everywhere. I line all the edges. This is what I was saying about how this whole area here changes. It definitely changes for the better. Oh yeah, I added this fountain. This fountain just gave me sort of a Mediterranean, Barcelona kind of vibe, Spanish sort of influence. Almost, I guess you could say it's almost French as well. It's really beautiful. I like this floor terrain as well. I played around with this for a bit, trying to figure out different ways. I decided that I didn't like it being everywhere, and decided to put a little bit just around the... Oh, I actually changed the terrain. That one looks better. I tried to double up these plants as well, and I don't know. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Do you think it looks better? I left it with just one because I preferred it, and then I went on with these. I think they're actually pool lights. I'm not sure, but I placed a load of lights above here to illuminate the garden during the nighttime. I think they look cute. Let me know what you guys think below. I'm actually really excited when Jessie will make her video, because she shows a couple of them. Who knows, mine might get shown, it might not. Hopefully it will. You never know, it might stand out. Who knows, it'd be cool if it did stand out. But I always like to see what other people create and whether we think the same way, because someone will come up with something and I'll be like, oh, that is such a good idea, I never even thought of that. And then someone might think it about my build. Who knows? You just never know, do you? So it's quite interesting, really. But now I'm working on the, I guess you say, the planter area. I really wanted to add this elephant fountain that has the rose petals in, mainly because I really felt like it went with the pool that has the flower petals in, and I also think it goes a lot with the... I actually changed these gold ones. I was thinking I wanted it to look bougie, but I got rid of them. I think it really goes, yes, with these red flower things. I just think it goes so beautifully with the fountain. Yeah. Aww. I think one of my favourite things to do in Sims is definitely landscaping. And I used to think I was more of a player, but I definitely am more of a builder. I love to build in The Sims. I just love it. I could get lost for hours just building and building lots of different things. Give me a challenge, give me a theme, and I will build for days. Trust me, I have people that can vouch for it. They have lost me to The Sims for like days on end. Just adding some nice flowers and shrubs and things. Do I leave that there that big? Wow, that's huge. Oh, I guess I do. I also add in like some nice benches and things. And then I make over here I make the, I guess you could say like the shrub area, the potted plants area. I made them darker as well because I felt like it just went with the vibe and it matches the swings more. Patchy stayed, obviously, got rid of that. I was also thinking that in the central part, that possibly, again, I don't like it when it's too much. I don't like it when that kind of floor thing is too much. Oh, I added this flowery terrain to the floor. Do I add anything around the fountain? I can't remember. I think I just do that. I think so. I can't remember. I was thinking as well that in the central part of the garden where that kind of blank bit is, that people would be planting the trees. You know how you get like the lemon trees and things like that? I was thinking that people would plant trees there and they would just fill that area. So it also gives you a chance. Now I was going to place a table and things there, but I was thinking you would do that on the terrace and the garden is more for growing and planting and relaxing. And up here would be more barbecue, like a little table, sun lounges, people can relax up there. That's what I was thinking. I wanted to incorporate a bird bath, but there was just nowhere where it would fit. I just couldn't really find anywhere, so I didn't end up putting one there in the end. I think I attacked this bit next, yeah. So I wanted to do kind of a sculpture. I don't know what my idea was with the sculpture. I was thinking it was either an old sculpture that had been abandoned or left here from the building originally. I wasn't really sure. I just thought it looked really cute and really nice there, so I left that and put it there. This pink plant I wanted to incorporate as well, but unfortunately it just didn't go. It's a real shame really. And I'm just adding more of these kind of red plants. I add them around the front as well to try and bring a little bit of the back to the front. So where I was trying to bring the front to the back, now I'm bringing the back to the front this time. Added a cute mailbox as well. I think I went with this modern one. Yeah, I think I put it there. Yeah, I did. Do I change the colour? Yes. And I think it looks super cute actually. This was so much fun to build. I want to do more shell challenges. I'm actually thinking about doing a shell challenge myself. I just wonder if anybody watches The Sims enough. I mean, anybody watches The Sims. If any of my subscribers play The Sims, would you want me to do that? I would actually love to do that. I'd like to make something difficult, but not so difficult that it's completely impossible, but difficult enough that it's a challenge. Oh, I added the bees here as well, because bees, I think, if I remember, they help with your plants and your growing of things. I just add some patio heaters. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was thinking I would do the rest of that with the interior of the house. Again, this pond is cute, but nowhere to put it. So I think we're getting near to the end now. I just add some plants to the front of the house. Again, just trying to blend it in to the front and the back, just making it a little bit less cold on the front, I suppose. Just adding a little bit more foliage, as some would like to say. Yeah, just making it look a bit nicer. I was thinking about adding fountains into the front of the house where the kind of water is, or the pond, or the rivers, or whatever. I was thinking of doing, you know, people have like water jets coming up. What do you guys think? I actually would really value your opinion, so let me know if you think that would be cute. Yeah. If you've made it this far, I really do appreciate it, and you really are a true OG Lauren Loves fan, so thank you so much. I hope you did enjoy this build, and I hope you look forward to the interior build as well. And you know, if you know Plumbella, tag her in this, or try and get her attention and send her this video, because I would love for her to see this. I think she would actually really enjoy it. Yeah, but anyway, I guess thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.